I remember working on homework, and all of a sudden, the muscles of my neck would start squeezing tighter and tighter, like a Charlie horse. And I would just start crying because it hurt so bad, and there's nothing I could do to relieve it. Also, I'd feel really dizzy, especially at night when I was laying in bed trying to sleep, and all of a sudden, I would just get so dizzy, and it was just a miserable thing to live with. Here I was, just a normal 17-year-old senior trying to graduate and move on with my life, and I could barely cope with this crippling pain day by day, and I was just completely miserable. I want to rewind back to the beginning when I was 15, and the pain all started. Now, first it would be every other week maybe, and it wouldn't be that intense. But as time went on, it became more frequent and much more intense. Also, I would have fits of nauseousness where all of a sudden I would just sit up and vomit with no warning, and it was just really nasty. As time went on, we decided that I needed to get medical help, and the first doctor we saw diagnosed me with severe muscle spasms, and she gave me neck exercises and pain meds. Of course, this was quite ineffective, and things kept progressing, so we went on to acupuncture, and while this helped, it was temporary, and the next day the same pain was back. Next, we tried a chiropractor who was a lot more heavy duty and seemed to be making headway until after one session I felt pins and needles all over my face, and needless to say, this really freaked me out, and that was the last time I ever went back. Luckily, by the next day, the pins and needle sensation had disappeared, but that kind of forever scarred me from chiropractors. Now, around this time, we changed our insurance to a more expensive one that would give us more access to a bigger scope of doctors, and we decided to get a second opinion from a back surgeon. He ordered a battery of tests for x-rays, which yielded no results, and he wanted me to get MRI. This MRI is what changed my life forever. I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. It was lodged between my spinal cord and my brain, and this was what was causing all the terrible symptoms I was suffering from, because it was pushing them aside, and is of course very delicate up there in that region, and very dangerous if left unattended. We went online and we found a very highly qualified surgeon down at UCLA. His name was Dr. Neil Martin, and right away we got a consultation with him, and he explained the whole procedure to us and warned us that I may have paralysis, either temporary or permanent, based on the fragility of the area of the tumor. And he just explained to us that if I didn't get the surgery, I would become paralyzed and I would probably not be living within the year. Now, of course, this was like an absolute boulder hitting me between the eyes, and I was just kind of devastated along with my family. But they really helped me to cope with this whole situation and gave me a lot of comfort and just really pulled me through. So within 2 weeks, the surgeon had rearranged his schedule to get me in, because he was himself pretty shocked over the size of it in this region. And so on December 1st, I went in for the surgery, and it was a 22-hour-long surgery performed by 2 teams, which I heard was quite unusual. Luckily, they're able to remove the whole tumor, and it was non-cancerous, and I had no paralysis. So the surgeon was quite shocked, and he would pop in on me when I was in the ICU later on that week, and he would just marvel at how well I had recovered from this massive surgery. So I spent 9 days in the intensive care unit and 3 days on the med-surg floor before I was released from the hospital to go home. And I wore a neck brace for 4 months, and I was able to resume my life, much as I had. Throughout this whole experience, I learned that my family is very important to me. I didn't realize I'd taken them for granted before, but just all the care and concern they took out for me, and they were very, very supportive, and I just really, really appreciated that. There was no way that I could have gone through this alone, because it was just so traumatic. Such a traumatic situation. And I also realized that life is so much more important to me than it was before. And I just realized that I might not have had a life if I hadn't gotten this surgery done. And I've just been through so many different emotional journeys, and I'm just so thankful now for my family and my life. And this has truly been a life altering experience.